Baldur's Gate 3 is changing fast, and it's all thanks to the mod community. We've got new custom campaigns transforming Act 2 into sunlit battlegrounds, turning Moonrise Tower into your personal prison, or even, yes, this one's for you thirsty devils, finally letting you romance Raphael himself. And if that's not enough, how about diving straight into a brutal New Game Plus mode that pushes your combat skills to the absolute limit? Stick around because you're not ready for what we've got coming. These mods are ambitious, immersive, and guaranteed to have you reinstalling for another run. But first, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button to support the channel. Thank you so much. Ever wondered what happened to those who survived the Shadowcurse? Shadowcurse Reborn is a new custom campaign mod that explores exactly that, picking up where the main game left off in the Shadowcurse lands. And no, it's not the Act 2 expansion mod, although I've got an update on that one a bit later. The premise? Brutal. The survivors of the curse are still marked, black veins creeping across their skin, nightmares clawing at their sleep. Instead of freedom, they're imprisoned in Moonrise Tower, locked away by the Harpers and Flaming Fists, who fear they're still a danger. Your adventure starts as one of these corrupted, trapped inside Moonrise Tower, with 3 different escape routes to choose from. Will you break out as a fugitive, or side with the Harpers to track down a Githyanki squad that escaped before you? What I like about this one is that it stays within the base game's world and location, but reworks it in a smart way. The desolate Act 2 battlefield, that's now bathed in sunlight instead of eternal gloom, and it looks so nice. This clever reuse of assets and locations means the mod theoretically should play nicely with other enemy and loot mods, opening up massive replayability without breaking compatibility of your existing load orders. And the companion roster is pretty solid too. There's 6 potential allies to recruit, including Quill Grootslang from your Dark Urge playthrough, our favourite Angry Githyanki, Lae'zel, plus a Harper and a Charlatan who you can recruit based on your previous decisions. The full campaign plans to span 3 acts, bringing players to Rosimorn Monastery, Avernus and more, and yes, it's multiplayer compatible. As of today, the prologue is available with further updates expected soon, but version 1 is out now on Nexus, definitely worth checking out. Now let's talk Project Strahd, an ambitious effort to bring the entire Curse of Strahd campaign into Baldur's Gate 3, which you may have seen from my previous videos. The team behind it isn't just throwing in a few locations, they're aiming for a fully immersive gothic horror experience that stays true to the original module. And if you're not familiar, Curse of Strahd is a Dungeons & Dragons signature gothic horror adventure, first released in 2016. It drags players into Barovia, a cursed land drowning in misery, where Strahd von Zarovich, an all-powerful vampire lord, pulls the strings. And it's one of the most beloved D&D adventures of all time. Curse of Strahd isn't just about grinding through dungeons, it's about being hunted, manipulated, and broken down piece by piece. The game wants you to be paranoid, exhausted, and fully immersed in its psychological horror, and that's the atmosphere Project Strahd is working on bringing into Baldur's Gate 3, and from what we've seen so far, they're heading in the right direction. And while it's still early days, progress is definitely happening now. We've got some brand new screenshots showcasing some of the work so far, and you can already see the attention to detail going into this. This isn't just another custom campaign, the goal is a full translation of the module, making the lands of Barovia feel like it naturally belongs inside Baldur's Gate 3. But for a project of this scale, they need more hands on deck. Recruitment is now officially open for voice actors, coders, artists, developers, basically anyone who wants to help bring this to life. Head over to the Discord now, linked below, to get involved. As you've seen in my previous videos, the genius Lotrich and his team set out to remake and expand Waukeen's Promenade from Baldur's Gate 2, but that was just the beginning. The project has since evolved into something far bigger, now titled Path to Menzoberranzan, and as the name suggests, is taking us beyond Athkatla and deep into the City of Spiders itself. And with the beta on the horizon for this spring, the team has dropped some new screenshots, and it's clear they're not messing around. The Underdark metropolis of Menzoberranzan is shaping up to be a sprawling, atmospheric nightmare packed with drow architecture, eerie lighting, and a sense that you're being watched from the shadows. And that's not all, they're also rebuilding Irenicus' dungeon, one of the most iconic locations from Baldur's Gate 2. This project is huge. Over 100 developers, artists, and modders are pouring their time and effort into bringing Athkatla back to life, and they're not stopping there. Future updates aim to recreate half of the city with more Underdark content in the works. And I can only share images here that have been officially released, but I can tell you I've seen even more, and boy, this is one to be seriously excited about. If you're a Baldur's Baldur's Gate veteran, this is the mod that's going to bring some serious nostalgia, and if you're new, well, you're about to experience one of the most legendary D&D settings ever made. The beta is coming soon, and trust me, you'll want to keep an eye on this one. Next up is the Act 2 expansion mod from Squally the Beans, one of my personal favourites. From the same creator behind the Forsaken WoW campaign that we covered previously. Progress has been a little slower than usual since they're now juggling both projects at once, but we've got some new screenshots showcasing exactly how it's coming along, and from the looks of it, there's a lot to be excited about. The goal for this one is to extend Act 2 beyond the Shadowcurse lands as Tav and the party head towards Baldur's Gate. Think a ton of exploration, combat and puzzles, all designed to bring back that sandbox style freedom from Act 1. The new zone is a massive forest permanently tinged with shades of gold and crimson thanks to its unsettling proximity to the Shadowcurse lands. And it's huge, we're talking cliffs, lakes, rocky outcrops, abandoned shrines, forgotten buildings. There's no shortage of places for hidden quests, dungeons, potential boss fights. If you want the latest updates, check out Squally's YouTube channel, links in the description. Up next we got something a little different, one for all you Raphael fiends. The Raphael romance mod is happening, you asked for it and it's being delivered. Still in the early stages of development, this mod is the work of Sinala over on the BG3 modding Discord, and it's far from a simple tweak. This isn't just about flipping a few romance switches, it requires brand new dialogue, animations and facial expressions to make Raphael's interactions feel fully fleshed out and immersive. But for those of you who've been thirsty for a little infernal temptation, you're about to get your wish. Of course, this raises a few questions. How deep will the romance go? Will Raphael's manipulative nature stay intact? And most importantly, how much will we suffer for his affection? Because let's be honest, if a Raphael romance doesn't involve at least a little bit of betrayal and emotional torment, is it really staying true to character? It's still early days, but I'll be keeping you updated here on the channel as things progress. Alright, let's talk about New Game Plus, or at least the closest thing we have to it in Baldur's Gate 3. While it's not technically a New Game Plus mode, this mod lets you restart the campaign at a higher level with scaled enemy difficulty, additional enemies, new items and fresh combat challenges. As soon as you drop into the Nautiloid, your character immediately levels up to level 10, and from there everything changes. Combat is tougher, enemies are smarter and stronger, and new items are scattered throughout the game, some pulled from unused content in the base game, others completely original. The idea is to take your character up to level 20 and have all the enemies and encounters scale with you. It's strictly combat focused, it doesn't alter the story progression or dialogue, instead it's designed to push your tactical skills to the limit. The difficulty level somewhere harder than honor mode, which means if you're comfortable with BG3's mechanics and looking for just a little bit more suffering, well, this is it. So if you've been craving a New Game Plus style challenge in Baldur's Gate 3, this is about as close as it's going to get. It's available right now on Nexus, go check it out. All of the links to today's mods are in the description, and if you enjoyed this mod roundup, smash that like button, subscribe for more Baldur's Gate 3 content, and let me know in the comments which one you're most excited about. Thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next one.